Hi again, and welcome to my station. Over the world, let's say you're talking to a married woman on the phone, and all of a sudden, little things stand out. She talks to you for a little longer, her smile seems warmer, and her words seem to have more meaning. At first, you don't pay much attention to it because you think it might just be something small. But as time goes on, you start to notice her behavior more. She stops inviting other people to hang out with you. She talks about her marriage problems, and you catch her blushing while you talk. When you're in this emotionally charged situation, you can't help but wonder if she's falling for me and if this connection is more than meets the eye. On the one hand, the signs are hard to ignore, but on the other, her marriage makes things more complicated. How can you be sure that her feelings for you go beyond friendship? And more importantly, how do you handle such a delicate situation with respect and care? We're going to go over this complicated subject in more detail in today's video, and we'll show you 9 surefire signs that a married woman might be falling for you. These aren't just random actions, they're psychological and behavioral cues based on research into human behavior. But here's the thing. Lesson 1. Noticing these signs isn't about taking advantage or pursuing someone who's already committed. It's about understanding the dynamics at play and respecting boundaries while navigating this sensitive territory. So, stay tuned. By the end of this video, you'll not only understand the signs, but you'll also have a better idea of how to handle these situations wisely and responsibly. Let's get started. Sign 1. She doesn't want to spend time with other people. If a married woman is falling for you, one of the first things you'll notice is that she avoids group settings or inviting friends to join, choosing instead to have one-on-one moments. This is because she wants to get closer to you while keeping things private and secret. By keeping other people out of the picture, she makes sure that your time together feels private and uninterrupted. It's not just because she enjoys your company, she may also be afraid of being found out by people in her social circle. A third party could see the closeness between you two and ask questions, which is why she wants to keep things between the two of you. Watch how she responds when you suggest that you include other people in your plans. The second lesson is whether she rejects the idea right away or seems uncomfortable if she keeps bringing up the exclusive plan. If she tends to avoid interacting with you, it means she values your company more than her other obligations and may be developing romantic feelings toward you. While this may seem flattering, it's important to be careful in these situations and always think about the emotional stakes and ethical implications before making any decisions. She says she doesn't like her husband. If a married woman often criticizes or complains about her husband to you, it could be a sign that she's unhappy in her marriage. These comments aren't always made accidentally. They're often an attempt to make you feel sorry for her and get closer to her emotionally. She might tell you stories about how her husband doesn't appreciate her lack of certain qualities or fails to meet her emotional needs. At the same time, she might compare you to her husband and say how much better you are. She stops talking about how nice or helpful you are compared to her husband. This behavior subtly hints at her growing feelings for you. While complaining about her marriage may seem like a normal thing to do, pay attention to how often and how strongly she does it. If she consistently makes her husband look bad and leans on you for emotional support, she's probably seeing you as more than just a friend. However, keep in mind that this doesn't mean she's ready or willing to leave her marriage. Her feelings may be mixed, and she could just be looking for an emotional release. Get away. If you see this sign, you should treat the situation with understanding and set clear limits. If she's having problems in her marriage, she should talk about them in her relationship, not through an emotional affair. 3 signs. She doesn't say anything when you talk about other women. Jealousy is one of the most obvious signs of love feelings, and it often shows up in the form of silence. If you talk about another woman in your chats, if a married woman likes you, she might suddenly stop talking to you. She might be afraid of losing your attention to someone else, which is why she is quiet. This response comes from her emotional connection to you. She may feel possessiveness, sadness, or even anxiety, but she can't say it out loud because she's married. Instead of talking about how she feels, she uses nonverbal signs like a change in her mood or demeanor to test you. This can be as easy as casually telling another woman that you're interested in her. Watch how she reacts. If her usual lively energy fades or she changes the subject, it's a strong sign that your words have hit a nerve. Her silence may be subtle, but it says a lot about how she feels. It's important to be aware of this behavior and proceed with care. Just because you see the signs doesn't mean you should use them. Use this information to understand how she feels, but set limits so you don't hurt her or make things harder for her. Sign 4, she says something or someone reminds her of you. If a married woman says over and over that something or someone reminds her of you, it means she's thinking about you more than she should. This is because our minds subconsciously connect everything around us to the person we miss or desire. For example, she might say that a song, a movie, or even someone's mannerisms remind her of you. These seemingly harmless comments reveal a deeper emotional attachment. Her subconscious mind is working overtime, associating everyday events with you because she blushes. This behavior is even more significant when considering her marital status. If a woman with a family finds herself constantly thinking about someone outside her relationship, it means she is having an emotional conflict. These hints are her way of showing feelings she can't say outright. If you notice her bringing you up in random situations or making these connections a lot, it's a clear sign that her interest is growing. However, it's important to be careful around her because her feelings are complicated, and while it's nice to be on her mind, this dynamic needs to be handled carefully to avoid problems. Sign 5. She blushes around you. Blushing is one of the most honest and uncontrollable ways to show strong emotions. If someone blushes around you, it's usually a clear sign of nervous excitement or attraction. For a married woman, this reaction is even more telling because it's harder for her to hide how she feels when she sees you. Her cheeks might flush, she might shake her head or laugh more than normal. These body language cues show how she's feeling, even if she tries to keep it together. For example, she can't help but blush when she receives a compliment or when she notices your gaze. It's tempting to see this as a green light, but her reaction is really her unconscious recognition that she likes you. Understanding the limits is important. Her blushes may show how she's feeling, but they also show how hard things are for her inside. Be aware of the situation and don't do anything that could make things easier or harder for her. She moves in a roundabout way. Sign 6. She shows you that you are hers by making subtle moves. A married woman who likes you might not do this. She won't openly claim you because she's married, but she will use subtle gestures to show that she sees you as hers. These gestures are her way of marking her emotional territory without drawing too much attention to herself. For example, she might agree with everything you say how much she values your opinion, or say how unique you are. She might also find ways to touch your arm lightly during conversations or give you long looks that show how much she loves you. Most of the time, these actions serve two purposes. They let her show how she feels without being overt, and they quietly let other people know that you have a special bond. She does this to create an invisible wall between you and the rest of the world. Even though she can't say what she wants, her actions, even if they aren't straight, show how much she cares about you. It's important to know these signs, but it's also important to treat the situation with care. Even though indirect signals may not seem harmful, they can cause bigger problems if they are not dealt with carefully. 7th sign of clarity. If a married woman lies to her husband about spending time with you, It's one of the clearest signs of how emotionally attached she is. She might say she's with friends or at work when she's really with you. She might keep this a secret because she's afraid of being caught and the emotional risk that comes with lying. She's putting her time with you ahead of her marriage duties. Not only does this behavior show how she feels, there's a lot of conflict inside her. If she wasn't emotionally invested in you, she wouldn't feel the need to hide your interactions. This behavior raises ethical questions. Her lies may seem like a reflection of how she feels, but they're also a sign of the problems her actions could cause in her relationship. Understanding this behavior is important, but so is remaining respectful. Let her deal with her emo without encouraging dishonest behavior that could lead to bigger problems. 8. She does everything she can to make you happy. If a married woman goes the extra mile to make you happy, it's a clear sign that you're important to her. She might do anything to make your day better, remember the little things that matter to you, or even give up something to see you smile, like she might buy you a meaningful present. She might remember your favorite coffee order or change her schedule to spend time with you. These actions show that she's becoming more emotionally attached to you and wants to be a source of comfort and support in your life. Her efforts are more than just friendly gestures, they're expressions of her affection. She's probably putting your happiness ahead of her own, which is a strong sign of Lesson 5, deeper feelings. However, this behavior also shows the emotional conflict she's going through because she's committing to a relationship outside of her marriage. While it's nice to be noticed, it's important to treat the situation with maturity and understanding. Seeing how hard she's working doesn't mean you should encourage her. Instead, use this knowledge to work on the relationship in a responsible and polite way. The fact that she may call or text you late at night is a strong sign that you're on her mind, even when everything else is quiet. If a married woman feels something for you, she will usually wait until her family is asleep or her husband is busy before reaching out. This gives her the freedom to be more honest in her messages, which may begin with simple hellos or updates, but may become more personal over time, touching on feelings or memories you both share. Late-night communication shows that you're on her mind during moments of solitude when she's able to focus on how she really feels. If she regularly initiates contact during these hours, it's a clear sign of her emotional attachment, but it's important to think about what these actions mean. Late-night talks can strengthen emotional bonds and make things more complicated. She needs to be aware of her feelings and the limits that are involved, while her actions are what matter. They may feel affirming, and they also bring up the need for good communication and taking care of the problem responsibly. Thanks for seeing this video all the way through. Knowing how to tell if a married woman is interested in you can open your eyes, but remember to be careful in these cases. With knowledge and respect for everyone involved, relationships are tricky, and it's important to handle them properly so you don't hurt anyone or cause confusion. Remember to hit the like button to support the channel and share the video with someone who could benefit from it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss out on our future videos where we talk about psychology, human behavior, and relationships. Please let me know what you think. What do you think about these signs? Have you been through something similar before? Tell us about it in the comments below, and let's start a real talk. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care. Always keep an open mind and try to make the best decisions in your interactions. Next video will be up soon.